The recent CAG report has indicated that Meghalaya has one of the highest fiscal deficits in the country with 6.90. And what does the government do about this? It holds a press conference where it tries to spin these figures and tries to deliberately misinterpret the data. And this was so obvious because this government anyway has always been a PR-focused government, one that is more interested in image building, rather than using the CAG report as a reality check to see what can be done so that things translate on the ground, so that the lives of the people get better. Here is a government trying to defend something which has been stated in very clear statistical terms. And unfortunately for them, a few days after their press conference, now the Niti Aayog report, the SDG 4, has come out, again indicating that Meghalaya is fourth from the bottom, just above Nagaland, Jharkhand and Bihar. The GDP at constant prices has gone down 5 points from 7.08 to 2.88. Our unemployment rate has gone up from 2.06 to 6.88. And yet our government is in denial mode. It is a government that is run by consultants and that has given a free, unaccountable, non-transparent run to bureaucrats. You know, if we're talking about capital formation, which is important for our economy, it is not just about widening roads so that you can then extract your resources, whether it's stone or coal or sand. What is the point of widening roads if those roads are not going to carry agricultural produce of our farmers to ensure that they get better prices, to ensure that their lives improve? Capital formation is not about so-called iconic structures. It is not about destruction of our cultural heritage to make way for ugly, useless malls. Capital formation is about investment in education, in healthcare. It is so obvious that Meghalaya is in an economic crisis. And this economic crisis, the root of it, is in crony capitalism that those in power indulge in. It is about contracts being given to companies actually owned by politicians, run by their families and their supporters. It is about nepotism. Just recently, it's shameful that certain privileges are given to the family of the head of state. From simple things of allowing them to have vehicles with tinted glasses when the law says otherwise, or filling in the constitutional posts to very important institutions such as the Child Rights Commission by a failed relative who had failed in the recent elections. This kind of nepotism is what is driving the state. Crony capitalism and nepotism is the root cause of the condition and the pathetic so-called underdevelopment that Meghalaya is facing. And crony capitalism and nepotism is now also entwined with this consultant-run, unaccountable bureaucracy that actually wants to centralize and make all decisions where the focus is actually not on the people. You will not need a PR exercise to talk about your achievements. Achievements speak for themselves on the streets, on the road. And sadly, this economic failure of our state is translating into certain major social issues, whether it is the increased drug addiction and drug peddling in the state. The unemployment that we see is what is causing a certain unrest and a certain search for answers in the form of demanding for certain protective, so-called protective mechanisms, and an inward lookingness that will further push us into not just an economic rut, but into a serious social crisis.